Welcome to College Briefing. The content of the briefing includes: don't declare the death of the Yale model just yet. Is running a top university America's hardest job? Weed that costs farmers $100 million a year could help create sustainable cement alternative. It's an election year, and Biden's team is signaling a more aggressive posture toward the press. One shot, killed in University City. Don't declare the death of the Yale model just yet. Bloomberg. Is running a top university America's hardest job? Economist. Leading American universities are struggling to find new presidents as the role becomes increasingly challenging due to toxic debates over free speech and diversity. Universities are facing a crisis of legitimacy, and the presidential office is under intense scrutiny. The job of a university president is mainly about keeping various stakeholders happy, but achieving this balance has become nearly impossible. Students are pushing universities around, while donors are becoming more vocal and exerting their influence. As a result, boards are finding it difficult to recruit suitable candidates for the role. Weed that costs farmers $100 million a year could help create sustainable cement alternative. ABC. Prickly paddy melon, an invasive weed that costs the Australian agricultural industry around $100 million Australian dollars, $74 million per year, has been found to produce enzymes that can be used in a sustainable form of cement. The weed is challenging as it has a long germination period and produces many seeds that remain viable in the soil for years. By using the enzymes produced by the paddy melon, researchers at the University of South Australia have been able to create a powdered, highly concentrated agent that cuts down the cementation time from 1 week to 6 hours. It's an election year, and Biden's team is signaling a more aggressive posture toward the press. Associated Press. There are signs that President Joe Biden and his team are becoming more aggressive and public in challenging how he is portrayed in the media. In recent weeks, an administration aide sent a letter to the White House Correspondents Association complaining about coverage of a special counsel's report on Biden's handling of classified documents. Additionally, the president's campaign objected to the perception that negative stories about Biden's age received more attention than remarks by Donald Trump about the NATO alliance. While the criticism is not as extreme as Donald Trump's attacks on the media, it is noticeable and serves several purposes, including making the press a foil and distracting voters from bad news. Some newsrooms may pause and think twice about what they write in response to the criticism. Biden's team is concerned that the media narrative about his age could become a story they lose control of, like former President Gerald Ford's stumbles led to the perception that he was a bumbler. However, the Biden team must be careful in its attacks, as Democrats generally have a greater appreciation for the press role in a democracy. One shot, killed in University City. Yahoo! There was a homicide investigation in University City, Charlotte on Tuesday night. The incident occurred on Berkeley Hill Drive, and one person, a male, was pronounced dead at the scene. No further details were provided. Want to come for a drive? Details of crash that killed 12-year-old boy revealed. ABC. A teenage driver in Australia has pleaded guilty to dangerous driving occasioning death following a car crash that resulted in the death of his 12-year-old passenger. The driver, who was 17 at the time of the incident, was driving a stolen car when he swerved to avoid another vehicle and crashed into a telegraph pole. The crash occurred in October 2022 in the city of Wollongong. The driver also pleaded guilty to several other charges, including driving while unlicensed and failing to stop and assist after vehicle impact occasioning death. The driver's sentencing will take place in March. Sir Keir lived above London brothel with a dead pigeon in water tank, book reveals. Telegraph. A new biography of Keir Starmer, leader of the UK Labour Party, sheds light on his past life, including the raucous parties he used to throw with his flatmates in a London apartment above a brothel. Starmer moved to the property in Archway, North London in the 1980s after completing his studies at Leeds and Oxford universities. The book also reveals that the landlord of the property had been jailed for living off the earnings of prostitution. Starmer's flat was eventually condemned as unfit for human habitation. Abiquiu man accused of shooting younger brother in face. Yahoo! A boy received a gunshot wound to his face over the weekend after his older brother was charged with aggravated assault with a deadly weapon. The suspect claims the shooting occurred accidentally while he and his younger brother were playing with a firearm. The boy was taken to a hospital in Albuquerque and survived an initial surgery. The suspect was charged and booked into jail, with prosecutors requesting that he be kept in jail pending his trial, citing previous charges against him alleging violent crimes and 2 instances in which he failed to appear for court hearings. Do your joints hurt more in rain or cold weather? New research says no. The Sydney Morning Herald. A new analysis by researchers from the University of Sydney has found that weather changes do not increase the risk of knee, hip or back pain symptoms. The study analyzed the data of over 15,000 people with musculoskeletal conditions and found no patterns between weather changes and pain, suggesting that the belief that weather triggers pain is a myth. However, high temperatures combined with low humidity were found to double the risk of a gout flare, leading the researchers to believe that this is due to differences in the biological mechanisms underlying gout. Wednesday's time schedule. Associated Press. On February 21, various sports events are scheduled to take place. In the NHL, Buffalo will play against Montreal, Philadelphia will face Chicago, Boston will take on Edmonton, Columbus will play against Anaheim, and Toronto will go up against Arizona. In Major League Soccer, Real Salt Lake will play against Inter Miami CF. In the PWHL, Montreal will play against New York, and Ottawa will face Boston. In men's college basketball, Marquette will play against DePaul, Duke will face Miami, Illinois will go up against Penn State, Alabama will play against Florida, Dayton will face George Mason, Kentucky will go up against LSU, and Colorado State will play against New Mexico. In women's college basketball, Texas will face Texas Tech, Kansas State will play against West Virginia, and Baylor will go up against Kansas. A pacemaker for the brain helped a woman with crippling depression. It may soon offer hope to others. The Toronto Star. Deep brain stimulation, DBS, is being hailed as an effective treatment for depression that resists other forms of therapy. Emily Hollenbeck, a patient participating in ongoing research at Mount Sinai West, was implanted with electrodes in her brain 3 years ago to combat her recurring depression. The treatment sends targeted electrical impulses to specific regions of the brain, helping to alleviate symptoms. Research is currently underway to determine the efficacy of DBS for depression, with the U.S. Food and Drug Administration agreeing to fast-track a review of Abbott Laboratories' request to use DBS devices for treatment-resistant depression. Biggest snake species in the world discovered in Amazon rainforest. The Independent. Scientists have discovered a new species of giant anaconda in the Amazon that is the largest and heaviest snake known in the world. The newly named northern green anaconda can grow up to 7.5 m and weigh up to 500 kilograms. Previously, 4 species of anacondas were known, with the largest being the green anaconda. The discovery was made during filming for National Geographic's Disney Plus series Pole to Pole with Will Smith. The finding is important for the conservation of anacondas, which are apex predators and vital for maintaining balance in their ecosystems. The anacondas and their habitats are under increasing threat from industrialized agriculture, forest fires, drought, climate change, and pollution. 3 keys to number 25 BYU's 78-71 win over number 11 Baylor. Yahoo! BYU held serve at home in a crucial Big 12 conference basketball game Tuesday night, holding off Baylor 78-71 at the Marriott Center in front of a sellout crowd of 17,978. Mark scores 26 points, Mitchell adds 22 points and 13 rebounds to lead Arkansas over Texas A&M 78-71. Associated Press. Arkansas defeated Texas A&M 78-71 in a college basketball game on Tuesday night. Tramon Mark scored 26 points for Arkansas, while Mekhi Mitchell added 22 points and 13 rebounds. Jace Carter led Texas A&M with 14 points. Arkansas will play Missouri in their next game, while Texas A&M will face number 5 Tennessee. Florida State beats Boston College 84-76 to snap a 3-game losing streak. Associated Press. Florida State defeated Boston College 84-76 to end a 3-game losing streak. Jameer Watkins had 22 points and 11 rebounds for Florida State, while Chandler Jackson added a career-high 19 points. Florida State went on a 10-0 run in the second half to take a 71-60 lead. Jaden Zachary scored 19 points for Boston College. Thank you for tuning in. The content above showcases the latest briefing reports and analytical synopses, thoughtfully curated by the 6Do team. These insights stem from a wide array of reputable media outlets, think tanks, government sources, and specialized experts worldwide. We encourage you to explore these sources for a comprehensive perspective. Keep in mind that while the content may not always align with the official standpoint of 6Do Brief, it's not meant to be taken as absolute directives for decision-making. Comprising seasoned media professionals, learned scholars, and accomplished scientists, the 6Do team embodies a trailblazing, fully independent media entity. To customize 6Do Brief to meet your professional needs, you have the option to subscribe to a diverse array of briefings on our website, 6dobrief.com. Regardless of your location, you can conveniently receive 6Do Brief via email.